Rick had always loved the solitude of the night. The quiet darkness of the countryside called to him, offering a break from the noise of the world. The stars shone above him like pinpricks of light in an endless sea of black, and for a moment, everything was perfect. But then it happened. His foot caught on something hidden in the tall grass, and before he could react, he was falling. The ground disappeared beneath him as he tumbled down a small slope. Pain exploded through his body, his limbs smashing against rocks and roots on the way down. Finally, he came to a stop, bruised and breathless. The silence that had once been comforting now felt oppressive heavy. Something wasn't right. He lay there for a moment, disoriented, staring up at the sky. The stars seemed to pulse, or was it his vision blurring? His body ached, and the once familiar landscape now felt alien and hostile. As he struggled to sit up, something caught his eye, a rock formation nearby, one that looked eerily like an elephant. Its stony face loomed over him, casting strange shadows in the dim moonlight. A cold chill ran down his spine as he stared at the elephant-shaped rocks. A sense of unease crept in. The air felt heavier now, as if the very atmosphere had changed. His mind raced. How long had he been lying there? Would anyone notice if he didn't return? He tried to stand, but his legs trembled beneath him. Panic set in. What if he couldn't make it back home? What if he was stuck here? He was far from help, and the night seemed to stretch on forever. Suddenly, something flashed in the corner of his eye. 3 lights hovering in the sky. At first, they seemed like stars, but their glow was unnatural, too bright. They moved in unison, flickering between colors, red, blue, green, blinking as if communicating. Rick's heart raced. What the hell were they? As the lights danced above him, the fear inside him began to grow. Was it a plane, a drone, or something else? His mind offered logical explanations, but deep down he knew. The lights moved with purpose, with intention. They weren't random. His breath quickened as the lights slowly descended, casting an eerie glow over the rocks and trees. They were coming for him. The pain in his body faded, replaced by a primal fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of whatever was lurking in the darkness, watching him. Rick couldn't tear his eyes away from the lights. His heart pounded in his chest, his body tense and rigid. The air around him seemed to vibrate, as if the very fabric of reality was being twisted. The once comforting darkness of the woods had turned into a nightmare, every shadow a potential threat. As the lights flickered, Rick's senses heightened. He could hear everything. The rustling of leaves, the distant howl of wind, even the faint hum of the lights above him. But with the heightened senses came voices, whispers that seemed to come from nowhere, yet everywhere at once. They were inside his head. The lights began to move closer, and with them came flashes, visions, of places Rick had never seen before, of beings he couldn't comprehend. His body trembled, sweat dripping down his face as he tried to make sense of what was happening. Was this real? Rick made it back to his cabin, but he wasn't the same. The whispers followed him, their voices haunting him, growing louder every night. His paranoia took over, convincing him that the lights were still watching, still waiting. They had done something to him, changed him. Every night, he saw figures in the shadows, heard footsteps around his home, and felt an overwhelming presence that never left. Objects moved when he wasn't looking, and his phone rang constantly with unknown numbers. No one ever spoke, only breathing on the other end. His mind began to spiral. Was he losing control, or had the lights awakened something far worse inside him? The world around him became more alien with each passing day. The whispers turned to screams, and Rick found himself running from something he couldn't see, something that stalked him from the shadows. The world felt like it was closing in, the air thick with tension. Finally, Rick couldn't take it anymore. He ran back to the elephant-shaped rock, hoping for answers, for an end to the madness. But as he reached the stone formation, everything went black. Rick awoke, disoriented and aching. He was still lying at the base of the rock, his body sore from the fall. It had all been a dream, a nightmare. Nothing more. The lights, the voices, the fear. It was all in his head, a delusion brought on by the pain. But as he stood up, his eyes caught something in the sky, 3 lights flickering in unison. They were exactly as he had seen in his dream. His breath hitched. Had it really been a dream?